Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family and Harry and Meghan. And today I'm going to be talking about Prince Harry's surprise trip to China. This dropped right as King Charles makes a historic visit to Canada. Is Harry trying to steal his dad's thunder? And what's this about tensions with Prince William? So we're going deep into the headlines, articles, X posts, and even some royal history to look into this. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like if you liked it, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos. So let's get into it. So picture this. May the 26th, 2025. Prince Harry jets off to Shanghai, China for an unannounced appearance at the Envision 2025 Global Partner Conference, pushing his sustainable travel initiative. Travelist. He's up there giving a fiery keynote, calling climate change a critical business emergency that's costing the global economy $143 billion a year. Sounds like classic Harry, doesn't it? Fighting the good fight for the planet. But here's the tea. This trip happens the exact same day King Charles and Queen Camilla touched down in Ottawa, Canada, for Charles's first visit as a monarch. Coincidence? Or is Harry playing chess with the royal spotlight? And where does Prince William, the eco-warrior heir, fit into this mess? So let's break it down. First, let's talk about King Charles's Canada visit. Charles and Camilla land in Ottawa on May the 26th for a whirlwind 24-hour trip. It's his 20th time in Canada, but his first as king, and it's a massive deal for him. He's set to deliver the speech from the throne in the Senate chamber on May the 27th, kicking off Canada's Parliament. This isn't just a ceremonial jaunt. Charles is Canada's head of state, like it or not. And this visit is loaded with diplomatic stakes. As we know, President Trump has been calling Canada the 51st state, which some are loving and others not so much. King Charles is walking a tightrope, showing solidarity with Canada while keeping things cool with the US. It's a high-stakes moment for the monarchy to flex its soft power. That's if it has any power. My thoughts are that there's somebody else controlling this and it's not King Charles. Now, enter Harry. His unannounced China trip feels like a stealth move. He's in Shanghai, preaching sustainability, while Charles is in Canada, juggling diplomacy. The timing's raising eyebrows and the media's eating it up. And then there's Prince William, who's been carving out his own space as the royal family's eco-leader with his Earthshot prize. Could Harry's trip be stepping on his brother's toes as well? Let's check out the headlines to see how this drama's playing out. The media's having an absolute field day. Here's what's making waves. Mirror Online says, Prince Harry makes surprise trip to China just as Charles starts historic Canada visit. They're calling Harry's move a surprise and Charles's trip historic, hinting that Harry might be stealing the spotlight. People.com goes with, King Charles returns to North America amid ongoing rift with Prince Harry, pointing out that Harry's China trip dropped just as Charles landed in Ottawa, with the family rift front and centre. Express.co.uk reports Prince Harry is in China on unannounced trip to promote tourism, tying it to Charles's Canada visit and Canada's stand against Trump's rhetoric. And FoxNews.com gets spicy with King Charles and Prince Harry extremely unlikely to reconcile, despite monarch's Canada trip, saying Harry's actions are deepening the divide. These headlines scream drama, suggesting Harry's trip is either a bold move or a poorly timed coincidence, with William's eco-legacy lurking in the background. I don't think there are any coincidences in these people's lives. Let's dive into the articles to get the full scoop. First up, Mirror Online gives us the details on Harry's Shanghai speech, where he's pushing sustainable travel. They note it's his first trip to China, unlike William, who visited in 2015 for conservation work. Charles's Canada visit is painted as a diplomatic flex against President Trump, and the article subtly suggests Harry's timing could overshadow his dad. They quote, "Prince Harry has travelled under the radar to Shanghai in China just as King Charles and Queen Camilla begin their own historic trip to Canada." It still doesn't prove that Harry is out to upstage his father, but let's be real, it seems that that's all he's out to do lately. But what do you think? Is it just a scheduling fluke or something more calculated? Next, People.com breaks down Charles's Canada visit, from planting trees at Rideau Hall to delivering the speech from the throne. They pivot to Harry's China trip, noting his comments about wanting reconciliation, but being stonewalled by Charles over a security dispute, and that's Harry's story. The quote that stands out, "Just as King Charles touched down on the same continent where his son lives, Harry quietly travelled to Shanghai, China for a surprise appearance." The irony of Harry being in California, so close yet so far, adds a layer of drama, but there's no hard evidence he's trying to sabotage Charles's moment. And then there's FoxNews.com, which goes hard, quoting experts like Helena Chard, who says Harry's China trip and his public gripes, like his BBC interview about security, are overshadowing Charles's diplomacy. They write, Harry's memoir, Scattered Bitterness, blaming his father, stepmother, and his elder brother, heir to the British throne. It's pretty scathing, and it frames Harry as stuck in a bitter cycle, but most of us think he is. But we still have no proof that that trip was meant to undermine King Charles. The mention of Prince William here ties into the broader family rift, but it's not specific to the China trip. So where does Prince William fit into this? He's a major player, even if he's not grabbing headlines this week. As Prince of Wales, William's been leading the royal family's environmental charge with his Earthshot Prize, launched in 2020 to tackle climate change. It's a global initiative, and he's poured his heart into it, making him the monarchy's eco-poster child. Back in 2015, he visited China for conservation work, focusing on wildlife protection, which feels eerily similar to Harry's travelist push in Shanghai. Harry's speech about climate as a business emergency could be seen as stepping into William's lane, especially since the brothers haven't spoken in years. Harry's memoir Spare and his interviews have publicly called out William, accusing him of everything from jealousy to media leaks. That history makes people wonder if Harry's China trip is a subtle jab at William's eco-legacy, even if it's not intentional. Prince William's been busy lately as well. He spoke at the VE Day 80th anniversary on May the 8th, 2025, and he's been stepping up as a hands-on dad to Prince George, signalling a modern, relatable monarchy. His Earthshot Prize has made him a global leader in sustainability, so Harry's high-profile China speech could look like he's trying to compete, especially with their fractured relationship. But Harry has been working on Travelers since 2019, and his China trip does fit that mission. But it does seem as if he's trying to make this work now that they've publicly announced their permanent separation, he and Meghan. Professional separation, that is. So the media loves pitting the brothers against each other, but without direct evidence of a clash, this feels a bit like tabloid fuel rather than a real rivalry. Still, the overlap in their eco work and their public feud does seem to add to this. So let's head to X to see what the fans and the non-fans are saying. X is where the real-time tea gets spilled, and this story's got people buzzing. I'm keeping these posts anonymous since they're unverified sentiment, not hard facts. First one, Harry's in China talking climate change while Charles is in Canada doing king stuff. The timing's sus. No way this isn't planned to mess with his dad. So this commentator is seeing Harry's trip as a calculated move, which a lot of us do. Not a lot of proof, but it's a general feeling that most people have right now. Next, good for Harry. He's doing his traveller's thing, not bothering anyone. The media's just desperate for drama. Charles's trip is fine. This uses Team Harry saying it's just a scheduling fluke. And I suppose Travelist has been Harry's baby for years, and he might be desperate to be seen to be doing something positive right now, what with his and Meghan's permanent professional split. So he's probably grasping at straws with everything and doesn't care where his father is, I would think. But then people are pointing out that it's Harry's China trip while Charles is in Canada and William's pushing Earthshot. The royals are a soap opera, and Harry at the moment seems to be stealing the show. This one pulls William into the mix, but again, it's pure speculation. The chatter on X is split. Some see Harry as the scheming spare, out to upstage his dad and brother, while others think he's just living his life and the media's blowing it out of proportion. The family rift, Harry versus Charles, Harry versus William, is like fuel on this fire, making every move Harry makes look like a plot twist in the royal soap opera. So, is Harry undermining Charles's Canada trip and stirring tension with William? The timing of Harry's unannounced Shanghai trip is pretty awkward. Charles's Canada visit is a big deal, his first as king, with diplomatic stakes sky high at the moment. Harry popping up in China the same day without warning raises eyebrows. The media is eating it up, and you really can't blame them because it's a good story. But again, there is no proof that he planned this to sabotage Charles. Travelist has been his passion since 2019, and big conferences like this are scheduled months, sometimes years in advance. It could just be a scheduling clash, not a plan to upstage his father. But let's be real here. We all know how he does upstage any of the other royals any chance he gets, as does Meghan. Prince William's angle adds another layer. His Earthshot prize and Harry's Travelist have similar vibes, both pushing sustainability, both high profile. William's 2015 China trip set a precedent, so Harry's 2025 visit could look like he's trying to one-up his brother, especially with their public feud. Harry's memoir and interviews have called out William for years, from sibling rivalry to media betrayal. That history makes people see competition where there might not be any, but I think most of us know that there has been a lot of rivalry on Harry's part regarding his brother. William has always laughed and joked, but Harry has been quite viciously competitive. The bigger picture here is the royal family's ongoing rift. Harry has been vocal about wanting reconciliation, but he's also said Charles won't take his calls, and he says it's over a security dispute that's been dragging on since he stepped back as a senior royal. Most of us know that it's not to do with that, maybe part of it. His public comments, like that BBC interview about security, keep the feud in the headlines, which doesn't exactly help Charles look like a unifying monarch. and in Harry's digs at Prince William in Spare and on TV and every move he makes, like this China trip, gets spun as a jab at his family. Intentional or not, Harry's actions are feeding the narrative of a fractured monarchy, and the tabloids are loving every minute of it. Let's not forget the royal family's history with timing clashes. Back in 2019, Harry and Meghan's Africa tour overlapped with Prince William's Middle East trip, and the media spun it as a sibling rivalry then as well. And maybe it was. The same with Harry's 2021 Oprah interview, which aired during Prince Philip's hospitalisation. That a lot of people have been furious with Harry about, especially as regards his grandmother's health and his grandfather's health at that time. Harry's moves, whether they're planned or not, will always get framed as upstaging his family, even if sometime he does it and there is no motive. So, is Harry really playing 4D chess? I don't think he's capable. Or is the media just turning a coincidence into a royal smackdown? So while it looks like Harry is deliberately trying to tank King Charles's Canada trip or William's eco work, his actions are not exactly paving the way for a family reunion. The timing is terrible, and his public gripes keep the rift front and centre. The royal family's drama is like catnip for tabloids, and we're all just along for the ride, sipping the tea and wondering what's next. So, that's my thoughts on Harry's China trip, Charles's Canada visit and William's role in this royal mess. The headlines and the articles are pretty dramatic, and X is buzzing with this. But what is the truth in all of this? What do you think? Is Harry throwing shade at Charles and William? Or is this just another overblown royal saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this going. If you like this deep dive, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ding the bell for more royal news. Do you want more on Harry's security drama, William's earthshot, or Charles's diplomacy? Tell me what you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.